James Paxton on the year, 18 starts, 8-2 records. Last 12, he's 7-1 with a 2.70 ERA and a .93 WHIP. Fastball, don't be deceived by that 95 because that might be early in the game, but he can go get 97, 98 later in the ball game. And he will throw a slider and a curveball.
Yeah, he's a talented kid. He's 29 years of age. He's from just north of here in Ladner, British Columbia. And his second fastball is at 95, but it's too high. 1 ball, 1 strike. LeMahieu is 0 for 3 against James Paxton. And that's outside.
The Big Maple. That's his nickname because he's Canadian. So they just went and made it easy.
And how fitting was it that he throws the no-hitter in Toronto?
Yeah, second Canadian-born pitcher to throw a no-hitter.
Dick Fowler was the other one. That was way back in 1945 for the Philadelphia Athletics. 2-2. And there's the Maple Grove.
Hey?
I love it. That is fun, isn't it?
That is fun. They're starting the A chant too. That's out in left field in the upper stands.
That's downstairs, 3-2.
Well, his arm angle, if you watch Chris Sale with Boston, their arm action and arm angle is very, very similar. Kind of a more lower three-quarter slinging type.
And that's fouled off. DJ in the ball game yesterday, another productive day. He had a sac fly in the second. He had an RBI double in the sixth. Hitting .324 over his last 8 ball games. And that's fouled off also. Another fastball at 97 this time.
That's a little bit like what Herman did last night at 94, 95, and then he would go get 97, 98. And Paxton, just like Herman, they can carry it the length of the game.
I know a lot of folks from Seattle were really impressed with Herman. They'd never seen him naturally before. Said, boy, that's easy heat. This is in the air to center field. Heredia makes the catch, and DJ is retired. That'll bring up Charlie. Let's take a look at the Mariners defensively. They just brought up this young man. He's been back and forth a little bit, John Andrioli. And he's checking a scouting report right now. You pull it out of your back pocket. So he's in left field. And Andrew Romine's in for D. Gordon at second base. Remember, D had to leave the game yesterday. Hurt his hip trying to score on that play at the plate where Tony made the great flip throw after he blocked the baseball and it had run away about 30 feet. And a great tag by Herman. Outside on Charlie.
Yeah, they think he hurt his hip trying to just avoid that as he twisted and turned.
I got something a little perplexing for you that hopefully you're going to help me out with. Here's the 1-0 to Charlie. Big swing.
The splits.
Yeah, you knew where I was going there. Righties against Paxton this year are hitting 187. Lefties, smaller sample size, not like you load up on lefties against this guy. They're hitting 313.
I know, and last year they hit 198 against him. I'm not sure, and talking to some Seattle people, they weren't sure of the reason. The one thing that they thought maybe is Paxton's so good to his glove side, so a lot of things are into the right-handers, and then obviously it works away to the left-hander. So I think as a left-handed hitter, you're just eliminating inner half. You're thinking kind of diving out and away.
There he goes to the glove side and just missed according to Marty Foster. So it's 2-2. The home run yesterday in the first inning for Charlie, his 16th of the year. It was the 26th first inning home run for the Rockies. That's the most in baseball.
Paxton's just pounding the strike zone, though, and everything's been pretty close on the Subaru strike zone. That would have been his issue, I think, early in his career. He just kind of tried to nibble a little too much until he realized how good his stuff was.
gets the slider and chase from Charlie. So it's 2 outs, and that'll bring up Arenado.
Paxton, 6'4", 235 pounds.
Yeah, he looks the part, and when the Rockies saw him last year, for me, that was one of the more impressive starts by any pitcher we saw.
Well, definitely an interleague play. Kid from Minnesota was the other one. Those were the 2 starts against the Rockies.
Barrios.
Yeah, Barrios.
Nolan yesterday 1 for 5 in the ball game. It's in tight, 1-1. Big series at home as the Rockies swept the Giants for Nolan. 5 for 11, home run, drove in 4. Leading the league in slugging percentage.
That was the slider. Sometimes Paxton will call it a cutter, but it has a slider action.
It remains a ball and 2 strikes on Arenado. Rockies have won 7 of 8. An emphatic 7-1 victory last night behind 13 hits. Great pitching from Herman. And this is bounced to second. Romine's there. And Paxton works a 1-2-3 first inning. Casually making his way to the Safeco mound. In his career in interleague play, he's 4-0. And last year we flash back to what he did against the Chicago White Sox. He came within 2 outs of throwing a no-hitter at Coors Field.
Melky Cabrera with the soft single to left field. Can we talk about James Paxton throwing the no-hitter up in Canada? I mean, I think it would have been similar if Kyle would have been able to do that at Coors Field in Denver, where he grew up.
He's still young.
Yes, he is. Well, 18th start, on the season for Kyle, and he's been on some kind of roll.
His first pitch is fouled off by the aggressive Gene Segura.
The last 13 ball games for Kyle, he's 8-3 with a 2.64 ERA and 11 of 13 in quality starts in the last 13.
He's just been sensational all year long. Here's the 0-1 to Segura, and a check swing bouncer. He doesn't even know where it is, and that will be the end of Segura's at bat. He never left the batter's box.
He's like, where is it?
It's in Freeland's glove. Let's take a look at Seattle. Scott Service has written out this lineup, brought to you by Southwest.com. Mitch Haniger missed the last couple with a bruised knee. He's in the 2-hole. Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager, Ryan Healy. And then it's Heredia, John Andrioli, Freitas the catcher, and Andrew Romine.
Kind of banged up right now with a lot of different guys. So Scott's trying to piecemeal this together.
There's a slider for strike one, or curveball, I should say, for strike one. Scott Service, longtime catcher in the big leagues. A lot of those guys make good managers, don't they? And this is poked to center field, base hit. With one out, Nelson Cruz will come up. And let's take a look at who's defending behind Freeland this afternoon. Pat Valaika at shortstop for Trevor Story. Again, Trevor was in the original lineup, hit on the ankle last night, and it was sore enough today when they were working him out that they thought they should pull him out of the lineup. Para, Blackman, and Cuevas. There's Noel. Noel's in right field. Again, Ian Desmond was going to get most of the day off his feet because he was going to be the DH, but now he's at first base. Chris Iannetta doing the catching. Inside, ball one. Boy, was Tony Walters sensational both ways last night.
Yeah, he was. The throw down to second jumps out at me. Of course, the 2 triples in the ball game. And then the play at home again on D. Gordon. A well-earned day off for Tony.
Outside and high, 2-0. Sixth interleague start of Freeland's career. And as I said, he's 4-0 with a 2.14 ERA. I love it. He wouldn't give in fastball. That's a changeup. Cruz was in swing mode. He was going to fire at it regardless.
Well, and I think last year, the first couple months, maybe even the first 3 or 4 months, that would have been a 2-0 fastball from Kyle, or maybe even a cut fastball. It wasn't going to be a changeup. I know that much.
There's the cutter in, 3-1.
Chris has just kind of reminded Kyle right there that he's getting out and around that. He needs to stay on top of it. So when you get out and around it, it cuts too much. So Chris is reminding Kyle, keep that shoulder in. Don't be so rotational up top.
I love that pitch because if it was put in play by Cruz, it was going to be on the ground. He turned over that changeup, and if Cruz hits it on the ground, it's more than likely going to be a double play.
Yeah, since April 24th, there's been 12 grounded into double plays for Kyle. That's second in the National League during that time.
See if Haniger's moving. He's not. Swung on and missed. Cruz is out number 2.
How about that? The 3 strikes that he got on Cruz, 3 changeups.
It was in play when he beat Bumgarner and the Giants in a large way 5 days ago.
And it not only has the action going down, but it has some cut action on the Subaru Supermo. Chris had to turn the glove over to catch that.
Well, you know who had that from the left side? De La Rosa.
Yes.
His changeup wouldn't fade. It looked like a splitter.
Sometimes you didn't know what direction it was going to go.
You weren't sure if it was a slider at times. So here's Seager. 2 outs, and that fastball's poured over the outside corner for a strike. A little cooler today, still very pleasant. Temperature at first pitch was 68 degrees. This time of year, a ton of tourists in town.
A ton of people from Colorado. We ran into some today from Fountain. They just came in for the weekend.
Got stopped by some other folks from Parker.
Why not? I mean, we have a beautiful ballpark. But go see some of the other ones out and around too.
Yeah. 2-1. Well, we get to see it firsthand. We're fortunate. And one of the things we've noticed through the years, as the fan base continues to grow, Rockies fans really travel well.
They do.
And
they rock their purple too.
Yeah, there was a young lady who showed us today. I mean, literally everything she had on, from her sunglasses to her shoes, were purple.
Her socks.
And it is, that's right.
Right.
She pulled up and said, look at the socks. They had a big CR on them. Outside, so it's 3-1. It continues to work away to Kyle Seager. How about that? 3-2. Being able to command secondary pitches when you're behind in the count.
That's a big leaguer. That's what big league pitching is. You don't see that in AAA. So people always ask, what's the difference between AAA and the big leagues? Well, it's right there. The 2-0 changeups to Nelson Cruz, the 3-1 changeup, the 3-1 slider to Kyle Seager.
Now, if you're Seager, he has no idea what he's going to get. Strike 3. I think that locked him up.
Well,
honestly.
Marty Foster threw his hands up after Kyle took a couple steps over towards the dugout. Like, what are you doing? It's not like it missed by 7 inches. I mean, this is at the knees. Kyle takes off, and then Marty throws his hands up. Like, what?
So a walk to Seager, 2 on for Ryan Healy. Joe West is at first, Mark Rippiger at second, Doug Eddings at third, joining Foster. Now ball deep short, and to third on the tag, out. That was an innovative play
Yes,
by Pat Valleca. It was a thinking man's play. He felt like his best chance to get an out was maybe to get the force, but Nolan wasn't close to the bag yet. Nolan, being smart, goes, I just got to apply the tag. Any way it works.
To the top of the second inning, but I'll go back to the bottom of the first and the play that Pat Valleca made on the Subaru Supermo. Nolan says, wait, you're coming here, I can get this and apply the tag to Mitch Haniger. When this play was happening, I was thinking Pat was really his only option might be go to second base to see what happened. He wisely chose third.
Yeah, I thought you were going to see him rifle the ball to DJ.
But he was swung so far over in the hole that that was the shortest throw.
Broken bat roller to first. Desmond's retired as Healy runs to the bag. 1 out. That'll bring up Chris Iannetta. How many times did you have to, at the big league level, you know, remind your third baseman, first and second, hey, to my right, I may come to you?
Do it quite a bit, but it doesn't happen that often. So
Sure.
You'll tell him, he'll say, well, if it's deep in the hole, I might come to third. And then that rare time it does happen, you're glad that you told them. But sometimes you just have to improvise.
And that's what both of those guys did. So it's a thinking man's game as well.
Well, it's the first game this year, too, at the Major Leagues for Pat to play shortstop. He had 5 games at Albuquerque. He has 25 Major League games, so that helps.
And he was a collegiate Gold Glove winner at shortstop when he was at UCLA. Off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Iannetta has faced Paxton more than anybody else with the Rockies, and he's due, shall we say that, because he's 0 for 10 against Paxton. One and two.
Well, the offensive hero on Wednesday was the home run. It went 453 feet. Exit velocity of 112 miles an hour.
Change up outside corner for a strike. And they're 2 outs. Second strikeout for Paxton.
Well, For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch, and it's risky business against James Paxton. The 197 batting average against, 5th in the American League, but how about the Rockies, 4th in all of baseball with their 269. So you get some guys out there, and then you hope you can drive them in. You're going to have limited chances against both of these guys, I think, today. It's really a repeat of the 2 performances between Kyle and Mad Bum.
Well, we said that when you get an opportunity against an elite guy, you got to take advantage of it. Cargo is 0 for 4 against Paxton. 2 for 5 last night, including an RBI double late in the game. It remains an 0-2 count. Good swing from Cargo to foul off another fastball out over the plate. Cargo against Madison Bumgarner has really good numbers. There's some similarities. Now, Bumgarner doesn't throw as hard as Paxton anymore, but he'll throw the ball out over the plate,
allowing Cargo to get his arms extended.
This is in the air to left and playable for Andrioli. Middle of 2, no score. Freeland and Paxton.
today, but Thursday on the off day, he was spending some time with some Colorado Special Olympians. It's the USA Games this weekend here in Seattle, and Kyle went out to help Colorado, gave them pep talks, practiced celebration dances, took pictures with them. He said it was an amazing experience to watch these guys be as committed as to what they do as to what we are. And I think it's amazing to see Kyle continually support the state that brought him up, Drew.
Yeah, I love to see things like that. And this is a special kid, not only because of what he can do with the baseball in his left arm.
Well, you know his parents are proud, and rightfully so.
Yep, as they should be. There's a foul tip.
Well, we
Guillermo
saw
Heredia behind 1-2 against Freeland.
Earlier this year when he went out to the DPS public schools and shared some at his mom's in his former grade school.
Yeah, his mom's in education. Well, we all know this as parents. I speak for everybody out there. I know I speak for you in this regard, you and Wendy, and for Chris, my wife, that as many things as the kids may accomplish, athletically, when somebody comes up and says, your son or your daughter, handles himself so well and is a terrific person, that makes you really
trumps everything.
Yeah, it makes you really proud. It's great when you have somebody who's uber talented and has worked as hard as Kyle to get to the highest level of baseball, but he's a terrific young man. Here's the 2-2, and that's lifted to center field. Charlie Blackmon territory. Chuck's got it, 1 out. Heredia retired, and that'll bring up John Andrioli.
John was called up today when they sit Nick Rumbelow down. Nick pitched last night.
So we actually have an extra position player right now versus pitcher. Usually when teams face the Rockies, especially if it's a Coors Field, they go the other way.
Right.
They need an extra arm.
So Andrioli was down in Tacoma, who was playing Albuquerque. There was 3 guys that just got called up from there after the game yesterday.
Yeah, the Rockies made a couple roster moves today. That's what you're alluding to. We'll show you visually here in a moment. One-one on Andrioli, and a slider, 1-2. So Tom Murphy was placed on the paternity leave. Mike Dunn had to go back on the disabled list with inflammation in his AC joint in his shoulder. Jordan Patterson, who's having another really good year in AAA, was brought up. Jerry Vasta, who's been up before, is also here. And in fact, I was in the clubhouse when they arrived with their bags, and it was right at noon today when they walked in the clubhouse. Sure, it was an early morning for them. 2-2.
You don't mind those early morning wake-up calls, though, when you're saying you're going to the big leagues?
Not at all. You set like 11 alarms in your house.
I'm not missing that flight. I'm not going to hit snooze. Trust me.
Swung on and missed. Second strikeout for Freeland. Andrioli is dismissed. 2 outs. That'll bring up David Freitas, the catcher. Join in on the conversation today. Send us your comments, your pictures, perhaps. Use Twitter and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. Had good contributions yesterday. Tony 3 bags. Enjoyed that. You're gonna run with that one.
You are. So I think you're going to change it from papers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to steal that one. 1-0 on Freitas. Here's Tony. I'm going to change his hometown too. He's no longer from San Diego. He's from West Babylon, Long Island.
You just want to say it with that New York, New Jersey accent? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe he's from Morristown, New Jersey. On the corner for a strike.
Well, located 2-0 on the Subaru strike zone.
Tough Tony 3 bags. Jersey
You
kid.
don't want to get sideways with him.
Nope. 2-1. 3-1. Freitas looks like a catcher, doesn't he?
Yeah. Strong, stocky. Gosh. That's hard. That's hard to pull a fastball that much and hit it to the dugout. Those changeup's been his best pitch early on in this game of the first 34 that Kyle's thrown.
That's what's called for, and that's what's coming.
Just has had command of that. Fastball he sprayed a little bit. The slider kind of get out and around it, but the changeup has been there working from the first inning.
Another 3-2, and that's strike 3. Cutter on the outside corner. Freitas is gone. A 1-2-3 second for Freeland. He has 3 strikeouts. We'll go to the third, scoreless in Seattle. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Cheyenne Frontier Days, log on to cfdrodeo.com for the full lineup, and by UC Health, live extraordinary. This was in Minneapolis. James Paxton getting ready for his start when he was visited by that bald eagle. Look at the claws on that thing.
Challenger is the name of the eagle.
And I give James Paxton a lot of credit. He did not panic.
I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm flailing my arms. Get away from me.
Honestly, I have no idea what I would do because
well,
never been close to that situation.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't want to freak out, but who wouldn't? Maybe I'd be the only one. But
no, I don't think so. This is a base hit for Valleca to right. First base runner for the Rockies. And it's of the leadoff variety in front of Gerardo Parra.
Good for Patty Barrels. Been swinging it better since he came back up the second time.
Much better. Made a couple of adjustments. Felt like he's getting ready on time better. So here's Gerardo. He's having a terrific year so far. Remember last July? You couldn't get him out last July. He had 443, which is the highest batting average of the month of July in Rockies history. He's 3 for 12 so far this July.
Well, since the end of April, he's been hitting 330. Regular playing time, coming through in the clutch all the time.
Well, he's third in the National League in hitting with runners in scoring position.
Oh man, that's not even
sniffing
close. The Subaru strike zone.
That's huge too, because all of a sudden you go from 2-0, now it's 1-1.
I mean, that, I get it sometimes. You miss one that's just on the corner, borderline, but that's not even within 6 inches of the strike zone.
That's a base hit the other way. And Valleca will stop at second. A little something cooking here for the Rockies. And this will be interesting now. First and second, Cuevas at the plate, and Stu Cole, to give him signs, walk down to about 40 feet from Noel.
I think you play it as a bunt situation.
I'm with you, because this guy's tough to hit. You don't get many opportunities against him, and now you have 2 on, nobody out. If you get a bunt down, second and third in with a great bat handler, not a good bat handler, coming up next in LeMahieu.
Well, and Scott Service was just talking to Ryan Healy at first, and Kyle Seager. You got to watch the bunt.
He just did get Seager's attention, and the bunt in that direction, it's perfect, and it's going to die in the grass. How about bases loaded? That was wild, because Seager, it's almost like Healy got the information initially, because he was in about 80 feet and he was charging. Yeah. Seager came running in from 15 feet behind the bag, Huey.
Yeah, he was talking to the umpire, Doug Eddings, and he got the call, it might be a bunt. So he's running in, and this looks like a ball you could hope you drop on a green sometime, where it spins back towards the hole, and he gets it on the Subaru Supermo. You see the English on the baseball. It's spinning towards the line, but as long as it stays in the grass, it's not going to go foul. Base hit.
And a strike on DJ. So a wonderful opportunity here for the Rockies. Third inning against James Paxton. The bases loaded, nobody out, and the top of the order at the plate.
Well, last night it was the bottom of the order that did a lot of the damage.
This is popped up shallow center field, and nobody's going to be able to advance here. DJ did get it quite deep enough. He had the right approach. So now there's 1 out, and the critical at bat will be taken by Charlie Blackmon. I say that because 2 outs, the infield is going to have a lot of options, but if Blackmon can at least get 1 marker across, it would be big.
Charlie struck out in his first at bat, and that was a slider against James.
Charlie 1 for 5 lifetime against Paxton. That was an interesting swing. That was more of a two-strike kind of swing.
Well, it's a swing that says, I didn't see that ball. I didn't see the rotation out of the hand.
Valleca, Parra, and Cuevas all on board. And again, defensive swing.
And you can see where both of those pitches were on the Subaru strike zone. Both down, or the first one down, and then the second one was away.
And Charlie fouls this one off.
Looks like Charlie's not even thinking about pulling anything. If his approach right now is try to shoot that gap right between short and third.
They just moved Andrioli a couple of steps closer to the left field line. And Charlie goes down. Now they're 2 outs. It'll be left to Arenado.
Well, it's a good option to have when the first 2 guys didn't do it. Get to Nolan, but 97 on the Subaru Supermo above the hands, and Charlie was tardy with the swing, and you can understand why. With the guys kind of throwing 90 away, sliders, and then 97 up.
Right man for the job, Nolan. 0-1. Nolan hitting .420. Excuse me, he's hitting .421 right now against lefties. That leads the National League. Last year, he hit .420, which led the National League. Down 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes on Arenado. Be interesting to see if Paxton goes slider here. Tries to roar another 97-mile-an-hour fastball in there.
Yeah, so far there hasn't been a pattern of what he likes to throw or a particular zone he likes to go to.
He went slider down and in, and strikes out Arenado. The Rockies leave the bases loaded. They had them loaded with nobody out.
Screen icons and features such as the game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Well, the Rockies left the bases loaded with nobody out, didn't get a run top of the third.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking at home. You hope that doesn't come back to bite the Rockies. You give Paxton a lot of credit. The short fly ball to center off the bat of LeMahieu, and then he pitched Blackman really well and got Nolan on a slider down and in. He pitched both those guys really tough.
Yeah, and that's why it was our For the Win, brought to you by Pizza Ranch. Just the risk-y business, and Paxton just 197 batting average against.
1-2 on Andrew Romine, the 9th hitter in the lineup for the Mariners. Gene Segura and Mitch Haniger to follow. 3 strikeouts so far and 2 scoreless innings for Kyle. Romine, ground ball, middle of the diamond. Valleca's got it, and his throw to first is right on the money to Ian Desmond. That's good play by Valleca.
Yeah, good actions by Pat. He got over that, smothered the ball, and then strong throw to first. A quick first step, and then watch where the hands are, out in front of the body. That allows him to soften up, and once he makes that, then it's an easy throw to first.
Segura had a check swing comebacker his first time up, and he takes a slider for a strike. Hitting just under 370 over the last 5 weeks of baseball. 1-1 on Segura.
He's one of those rare guys that will choke up on the bat. I've seen Joey Votto do it, but Segura does it too.
Inside 2-1. Segura 1 for 4 last night. And this is a flare. Can the Rockies get an out? DJ. He made a wonderful play. Desi was going for the baseball too, so never fully returned to the bat. It'll be a base hit for Segura.
Just one of those plays that, you know, nobody was at fault. It wasn't like Ian shouldn't have gone after, because he thought for a moment, well, he might be able to catch it, and they couldn't get back.
And I don't know if he's out even if Desi does get back to the bag.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes there's plays that happen in a game, and it's just a baseball play. That was one of them. It wasn't, well, because Desi went after it or DJ. No, that's 23 infield hits on the season for Segura. Second in the major leagues behind his teammate D. Gordon.
Normally he's a big threat to run, but he's been beat up a little bit and has not been looking to run as much. Six stolen bases, 9 attempts for, 14 stolen bases and 21 attempts for Segura. And that's inside. So it's 2-0 on Haniger. And Ionetta will pay a visit.
Like that, Chris was telling him, okay, this is what's going on. There was a little bit of mechanic talk, but then at the end, just pump him up, hit him on the chest, say, let's go. It's been 2-0 changeups today. I think you're going to get another one here.
He did.
Just the feel of it for Kyle. It's a circle change variety where he really bury that ball deep back into the palm of his hand. Put 3 fingers on the baseball and then just throw it like a fastball. Let the extra friction on the finger slow down the ball.
One out. 2-1 on Mitch Haniger. Played collegiately at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. First round pick out of there. That's a strike. 2-2. Haniger's brother Jason back in 2008 was a 19th round pick of the Pirates out of Georgia Tech. 3-2.
Let's see if they put
Charlie. Sure, Charlie.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, I wonder if they put Segura in motion.
So you get the automatic pick here. Not going. No pitch. Ball 4.
Second walk today for Kyle.
Achieving More is brought to you by AT&T. The Rockies playing wonderful baseball of late, and it always begins with the rotation. They're 6-0 with a 1.82 ERA the last the last 10 ball games. And a better than 4-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That pleases those two to no end.
We also saw the 64 1/3 innings. That's tied for the most in the major leagues during those last 10 ball games.
Yeah, you get great length. These days, when you go 6 1/3, you say, oh, you got a lot out of your starting pitcher today. But the Rockies are getting 7-8 inning starts.
And because of it, the reliever's just 23 innings.
1-0 on Cruz. Dangerous man at the plate. And 2-0. So Kyle falling behind a little bit here.
Six of 12 first pitch strikes for Kyle.
And it's a double play ball. There's one and there's two. Change up, got Cruz to roll over. No harm done. We'll go to the 4th. Still scoreless, but not sleepless in Seattle. On Twitter to cast your vote during the post-game show. You'll learn of the result. Hey, we're in Seattle. You got to talk coffee, right? How do you order your coffee? Black, B with room, or C, it's complicated? Why are you looking at me?
Because I know it's complicated because I've had to order for you before.
It's it is a little complex.
Yeah. Mine is, you know, it's just straight up black coffee. That's what I like. This guy though, it's a Venti. Let me see, Venti decaf mocha with whip, which is
There's no pumps involved.
Yeah, so it's,
but yeah, I like my mochas.
Yeah, well, decaf mocha though with whip.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker.
I know, but that's what you get. So you're C. You're complicated.
You know what I've been drinking a little bit more of? The Americano. Decaf Americano with room, so you can pour a lot of sugar in it. Curveball is a strike. Here's fastball up top. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ian Desmond.
It's complicated for sure.
This is pulled through the left side, a base hit. So the Rockies again with the leadoff man aboard. Yes, last inning they had 3 straight singles to begin the inning. Unfortunately, could not score. So Desmond is out there for Chris Iannetta coming up, and it's time to see what Taylor is up to. Taylor?
Yeah, you guys talking about complicated coffee orders. I had the chance to grab coffee with Tyler Anderson since he's not pitching in this Seattle series. Take a look at this order. Vanilla, sweet cream, cold brew, light ice, no water. He orders that, and I'm like, you're kidding, right? It's that complicated, and he says when you order coffee every day, you got it down to a fine tea of how you like it.
So the question though, Taylor, because we saw it at the Pikes Market there, did you go to the original Starbucks or the one that's kind of the pseudo one right on the corner?
Not if she was smart.
We actually went to the one in our hotel because I said, listen, it's the same product. I don't want to stand in line for 2 hours at the original one.
It was a long line the other day.
Unbelievable. It's funny, I was down there yesterday, and Taylor is 100% right. I went to a different one because I walked to the original one. I was down there and I said, oh, I'll go get a Starbucks. Yeah. And I saw the original one, and there literally was a line down the street.
I know.
I'm like, really? Just to say you
I went to the original Starbucks.
2 strikes on Iannetta. So Taylor did a nice walk and talk piece with Tyler, and you'll be able to see that on the pregame show tomorrow before we depart Seattle. And he went. So Iannetta is strikeout victim number 5 of James Paxton, and that'll bring up Cargo. Desi has a couple of times just kind of semi-bluffed. And did you do that, Huey, to kind of get a gauge of when you could take off?
You know, sometimes you do it. Other times you'll take that 2 steps, but then your mind is telling you, wait, he was too fast to the plate. I'm going to be out. So I think that's what it was more than anything. Look at that tweet, Drew, real quick. Somebody's just talking about your decaf mocha.
What did they say?
Just order hot chocolate.
You're not far off. I had somebody.
Hold on here. Or chocolate milk. Okay, I thought you said hot chocolate.
I like chocolate milk. Love chocolate milk. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Desi takes off, and the throw did not get him. And there's Gene Segura.
Everybody does that
everybody now. Hey, as if the respective video coordinators are not looking at the video immediately to see if the call was accurate. That's their job.
Now, we saw Trevor go out and around last night where he had to just then hold on to the bag. Let's see, did he get the pant leg on the way by?
He got the lower leg. Obviously, the question is, where is?
Well, they're playing, so that will be.
Yeah, he had the hand in there anyhow.
Yeah.
So he's out there for Cargo. 0-1 on Cargo.
That's Desi's 9th stolen base.
Cargo with a base hit up the middle, and the Rockies are going to take a 1-0 lead. That is a big base hit for Carlos Gonzalez, his 31st RBI, 1-0 Colorado. And think of that stolen base by Desmond. Speed, 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 and the ability to utilize it.
And good for Cargo to get that slide. He didn't miss it either. You know, the Rockies were lamenting the fact that they had the bases loaded and didn't score last inning. And now they come through with the base hit after the stolen base by Ian.
And Valleca hits a fly ball to right. Haniger makes the catch for the second out, and that'll bring up Parra.
Well, with that base hit by Cargo, he is now up to over 300 with runners in scoring position. 304 for Carlos.
And as we've talked about Charlie, you know, warming up, Cargo's been solid, but I think there's a lot more in there when you start talking about doubles and home runs. He's got 7 home runs right now, but I think you're going to see a summer where all of a sudden, you know, he has one of those weeks where he hits, you know, 4 or 5, that kind of thing.
Yeah, drives in 14.
This is fading away from the left fielder Andrioli, but he makes the catch. Good running catch by Andrioli, but the Rockies get a run. Desmond a base hit and a stolen base, and then Cargo delivered him. 1-0 Colorado. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special, courtesy of Taco Bell. Beautiful Safeco Field in Seattle. Just a block and a half from the water. Kyle Seager, Ryan Healy, Guillermo Heredia, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup for Seattle. The Rockies have taken a 1-0 lead. Ian Desmond, base hit, stolen base, clutch single up the middle from Carlos Gonzalez.
So the old manufactured run. That's kind of what it was. So Rockies as a team, 45 stolen bases.
And there's a strike. Well, we've made mention of this numerous times this year. It was a huge point of emphasis during spring training for Buddy Black and Mike Redmond and their crew to be more aggressive on the base paths, not just in terms of stolen bases. That certainly was a large element, but making sure that consistently the club went first to third. By the way, it's a homecoming also for Red. Mike's from Eastern Washington, makes his home in Spokane. In fact, he and his wife are building a new home there. He got to sneak back home.
Oh, that's right, with the
on the off day. 2-1.
Well, it's not only, you know, stealing bases, as you said, Drew, going first to third, but how about running hard down the line?
Hard 90, right?
Hard 90. We've seen that play out. Now, last year the Rockies had 59 stolen bases, and as I mentioned, they already have 45 as of today.
And the percentage much better this year than what it was last year. 2-2 on Kyle Seager. Rocky shift. DJ's in the outfield, in fact. And he didn't chase the slider. 3-2. This is what happened in the first at bat. It went to 3-2 with Seager, and a borderline fastball that Kyle thought was strike 3. And Chris Iannetta thought it was strike 3. We thought it very well could have been strike 3. It was called ball 4. And that clearly missed. So a leadoff walk. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Kyle.
He had one in the first, one in the 3rd, and then here in the 4th. Not a good breakdown if you're Kyle with the 31 strikes and 28 balls. But that being said, got the changeup double play to get a ground ball to get out of that last inning off the bat of Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, he's making big pitches, but hasn't had the great command.
I think he's just great command with the fastball.
He has not walked 3 in a game since he walked 4 on June 21st against the Mets.
Well, he had just 3 walks in his 5 starts in June. 3 walks total.
This is yanked foul.
Let me correct something. I was looking at the wrong line. He had 11 walks, though, just in the 5 starts. So in
still
June.
Very good.
Yeah, still very good.
He's ahead here, 0-2 on Ryan Healy. 1-2. Kyle's got a 350 road ERA this year. He's got a 289 Denver ERA this year. Good block.
So my question then, if you say 289 Denver ERA, because everybody likes to say, well, the batting average is inflated by X amount of points. What does it mean when you have a below 3 ERA at home? Do you get to take off 50 points on the ERA? What does it translate to? If you're going to hurt the hitters, you should help the pitcher.
I'm singing to the choir. 2-2. Since April 30th out on the road, he has a 2.64 ERA. This has been really steady. And beyond really steady, he's been really good. Since April 24th, 8 wins, 85+ innings pitched, the 2.64 ERA, 12 ground ball double plays, all among the league leaders in that time frame. With a win today, Kyle will produce his 20th big league victory. Comes in 19-17 with a 3.75 lifetime ERA.
45 starts.
And this is not hit that hard. Valleca is going to have to go to first. Needs help. And Desmond comes up with a nice pick. And the Rockies get the out there. Desi pointed over at Ian just a moment ago and said, hey, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, because
threw him a changeup.
Well, he had no grip whatsoever on this baseball. It's like he just had it by the fingernails as he's throwing to first and buries it, and Desi just snags it. I mean, this is not an easy play. Is it going to hit the dirt? Is it going to hit the grass? Is it going to hit the lip? But watch that grip that he had on the Subaru Supermo. Didn't have a chance to transfer it into the fingers in the proper position.
Heredia takes a strike. One nothing Colorado. Bottom of the fourth inning. The Rockies have out-hit the Mariners 5-2. He went. 2 strikes.
Heredia ultra aggressive. You don't need to throw him anything in the strike zone right now.
Line drive, base hit. Cuevas to the baseball quickly, and they'll hold Seager at third. First and third, 1 out.
As I was saying, you don't need to throw anything in the zone with Heredia. Very, very aggressive, and they wanted the pitch up and then didn't get it high enough. So it ends up cutting back middle portion. He goes inside out just on the one hop. Cuevas gets it back in. Now you're still only 1 pitch away from getting out of it with it. The catcher, oh, excuse me, the left fielder, Andrioli.
Kyle struck out Andrioli in the second inning. Swung on and missed, 0-1.
And that's the location they wanted that pitch to Heredia. They wanted it more up. We're gonna wait just a second.
Play on. Just inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to block.
How did he block it? I think is a better question. It's not even close on the Subaru strike zone, and it wasn't close to the plate. Chris has just had to anticipate maybe where is this going to go, because it barely makes the dirt. Proper positioning. Right at that point, it's a guess, and Chris guessed right.
2-1. Kind of figured it would be that changeup. That's been his most effective pitch. 2-2. It's also the pitch he gets guys to roll over. Give him an opportunity for a twin killing here.
There's no dive back from Guillermo at first. Just goes back feet first.
Freeland, strike 3. He freezes Andrioli for the second out in the 4th inning.
True, I think he was sitting changeup.
May have been.
Yeah, because that was 92 miles an hour, just locked up John. Yeah, I mean, it's right about belt high. Oh, I guess it was a little bit higher than that, excuse me, but by the time he took his stride. But now you got 2 outs.
And I think guys give up on it too, because even when it's 92, 93, it's got a little bit of cut on it.
Plays up.
And it does play up, especially.
Like we say in scouting, you know, some guys will throw 92, but it plays down because there's not a whole lot of movement on it.
Here's Freitas. Strike 1 on the inside corner. 1st and 3rd. Seager at 3rd. Guillermo Heredia at 1st. The Rockies with a 1-0 lead. Bottom of 4 in Seattle. Right back in there again. Again, Chris with a terrific block. You cannot take a pitch off as a catcher, and especially if you got a runner on 3rd.
Your mind can't wander at all.
Nope. Your focus has to be present. Two balls and a strike on David Freitas. Foul tip, 2-2. Freitas has been up and down 3 times this year between Seattle and 45 minutes away in Tacoma.
17 is not bad. 19 starts to get up there. Then 25's a little bit in this inning for sure.
Yeah, but you'll take it if you can get this 3rd strike.
Exactly, and you know this has been a bit of a testament to Kyle this whole ball game.
Yeah, got to grind.
Yep. But that's also a separator from a big leaguer to a minor leaguer. Yeah, you would love to go out there every day with your best stuff, your A stuff, every single game. Well, sorry, folks, that's not happening.
And you know this to be true. I'll take it even one step further. It's the difference between a mid-level starting pitcher and an upper-level starting pitcher. How do you do on the days you don't have your best stuff or best command? 3-2. Can you give your team a chance to win even on those days? I mean, it's great when you have the whole arsenal working and you feel like you can put it wherever you want. But those days, even for the best, are still few and far between. 3-2. Popped up to second base. DJ's got it. That's great pitching by Kyle Freeland. He traps 2 on base. 1st and 3rd, Seattle leaves out there. We'll go to the 5th. The Rockies have the only run. Tony, 3 bags yesterday with a couple of triples. It was a great day for Tony. Armako, Hale, yeah, big hit.
About that, the first Rockies catcher in franchise history to have 2 triples in a game.
Did Corey mention that he had 2 in an inning yesterday?
I'm sure he did. I didn't get a chance to talk to him after the post-game show last night, but you know, when it's a major league record, you have to, though, announce it, and announce it with authority.
Nine 1-2 for the Rockies in the 5th. Noel Cuevas, a bunt single his last time up. Got a perfect bunt down with runners at first and second. Kyle Seager came running in and he allowed it to, he was hoping it would go foul, so he didn't grab it, and it just died in the grass. Pretty thick grass by major league infield standards. Freitas has a play, 1 out. That brings up LeMahieu, 2 fly balls to center field. First one would have been deep enough to score a run, except he was leading off the ball game. The second one,
if he could have flip-flopped it.
Yeah, he wishes he could have flip-flopped it. The second one was to shallow center with the bases loaded and nobody out. And nobody could advance. Rockies had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 3rd, with LeMahieu, Blackman, and Arenado coming up and did not score. Charlie struck out, Nolan struck out after the shallow fly ball, but they got to run the next inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know what Paxton is today? He's 17 for 19 on first pitch strikes.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
89%.
This ball's in the air again to center field. 2 outs, that'll bring up Blackman.
Enjoy flexibility with the Ballpark Pass. The discounted ticket package lets you choose from the games that fit your schedule and redeem from your phone right up until first pitch.
This game, kind of like the Bumgarner-Freeland game, feels like a home run will be the difference in the game. The Rockies have that 1-0 lead. I just think the way these 2 guys are pitching, it's hard to bunch a lot of hits.
Yeah.
The Rockies created their run last inning, a lead single by Desmond, if you missed it. He stole second, and then Cargo with a sharp single to center to bring him home. 1-0 to Charlie.
I think you go to either Bumgarner game, the one in San Francisco where it was a 1-0, the Rockies lost on the walk-off home run by Brandon Crawford, or the one at Coors Field, or is it 3-2 game, or a 5-2 game, but it's 3-2 early.
Yep.
Charlie's just not seeing it. He's just not picking it up off of Paxton, and that happens.
Last night, 3 hits for Charlie, including a first-inning home run. But for Buddy, the most impressive hit was that sharp single to left center later on in the ballgame. I've never seen Charlie take 2 swings like that in the same at-bat. So clearly, as you said, he's not seeing it from Paxton. 1-0 Rockies, middle of 5. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. This is Longview, Washington, about an hour and a half south of Seattle. It is the home of one Harry Black, Buddy Black. First pitch to strike. There's Buddy. Proud, as he should be, of his roots. Andrew Romine at the plate with a one-strike count. 9-1-2 for Seattle here, bottom of 5. And this is softly hit. And an easy first out as Pat Valaika grabs the baseball. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Taylor McGregor. Rockies won last night, 7-1. 13 hits offensively. Limited the Mariners to 8 hits. Gene Segura is 1 for 2.
You and I both talked to a lot of Seattle people today, and they were just kind of raving about the Rockies and the offense they saw, and then they quickly transitioned to Herman and his arsenal of pitches. I mean, they were just raving about the performance last night.
Well, how can you not? I mean, he's got a magical arm, and when he first came up, Buddy was chatting about this today. When he first came up a year ago, more or less. Here's the 1-1. This ball is hit a long way to left, and it's going to tie up the game. Gene Segura with his 7th of the year. He's just a tremendous hitter.
A career 370 plus hitter against the Rockies. That gives him 115 hits on the year. Second in the American League behind Jose Altuve. He kind of knew it too as soon as he hit it. The last 18 games against the Rockies, 434, 6 home runs, 11 RBIs for Gene Segura.
Yeah, to your point, he came in with a 371 lifetime average against Colorado. This is fouled off by Haniger. So it's 1-1. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But to finish the point on Herman made today by Buddy, when he came up, he was fastball, curveball. And now he's got a developing changeup, and he has got a slider that at times is a plus slider. It was last night.
Yeah, and we saw very few curveballs last night.
And all of those strikeouts, Cruz in a key situation last night on a slider. He got Cruz twice, in fact, on a slider. Got Ryan Healy on a slider.
Cal Seager on a slider. Heredia on a slider.
Two and 1. Folks in the ballpark here jamming out a little bit. There's Herman, because the sound check at CenturyLink across the way where the Seahawks play is going on. There's a big concert there tonight that we're excited about attending. Kenny Chesney's the headliner. Old Dominion's playing. They were just in Denver, this whole group. Thomas Rhett, who threw out the first pitch tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll have a good time after a Rockies win.
I'm looking forward to that. 3-1 on Haniger. 3-2. My youngest, Gabe, went to.
Did he get the 1 mile high
last week? Yeah, he said it was awesome. They're marching around the concourse. Three-2 on Haniger. And a walk. Second time he's walked Haniger, 4 walks in the game.
4th time this year for Kyle. He's had 4 walks, and that ties a season high.
He's going to bring Steve Foster to the mound with Nelson Cruz coming up. He's gotten Cruz twice, a strikeout, and he got him to ground into a 6-4-3 double play. Well, while we have a moment, we'll compare 2 sluggers. Since 2015, Cruz primarily a DH, Nolan primarily a Gold Glove third baseman, and similar looking numbers. Home runs, RBIs, big advantage in ribbies to Nolan. Slugging percentage about equal.
Cruz used to play right field. It isn't a little bit older now, as you say, Drew, just more of a DH.
I wonder if he will lament, or does lament, that fly ball
for the Rangers.
When he was with the Rangers, had he been able to catch, they would have secured the 27th out in the World Series title.
David Freese, right? Isn't that who hit it?
I believe so.
Scott Oberg is up now in the Rockies bullpen after Steve came out to talk to Kyle. Scott got loose. His 92 pitches for Kyle.
And, you know, some high stress pitches. This is broken bat, fly ball to center. And it's not that there's been an inordinate amount of traffic. It just seems like Kyle's battled.
He has.
From pitch 1, and he's done a marvelous job. There's one run up on the board.
But 93 pitches is you're trying to get through 5 innings.
And
but all of that being said, you know, he just gave up the 1 home run to Segura.
Yeah, there's 2 guys, for whatever reason, he has struggled to stay ahead of. I say that because he's been ahead of Kyle Seager twice and lost him twice. 2 walks to Seager. The guy at first, Mitch Haniger, has 2 walks. So here's Seager once again. And he gets ahead with a fastball.
Reported right into the middle of the heart of the Subaru strike zone.
One and one. Seager's been around long enough now that he's accumulated more than 1,000 hits. One of 9 Mariners in the 1,000 hit club.
Pretty good company that he has in that Mariners club.
His hitting coach is in that club.
Yep.
Edgar Martinez. Edgar. And this is kind of served to right center field for a base hit. Haniger is going to go first to third. Seager didn't try to do too much with it. Got a base hit, so that'll bring up Ryan Healy. Go ahead run 90 feet away.
Got a ball that was away from him, but just kind of stayed on the same plane as the barrel. And Kyle's done this throughout his whole career. He goes truly foul line to foul line. I love the encouragement from Buddy. He just yelled out at Kyle and then gave him the clap, said, let's go. I think this will be his last hitter one way or the other. He's clapping those hands together and said, let's go.
He's gotten Healy to ground to short twice. And he's going to get him out a 3rd time. DJ getting called off by Cuevas, who makes the catch, and he'll run it into the dugout. In the inning, Gene Segura hit a home run to left to tie up the game. So it's 1-1 going to the 6th in Seattle.
knows that Kyle just had to battle his way from pitch one to the last pitch that he threw. So he'll come out of the ball game. Hey fans, the first 20,000 of you through the gates on Saturday, July 14th will receive a Nolan Arenado walk-off cycle bobblehead courtesy of King Supers. Well, Nolan looking for his first hit today. Ground out to second. His first at bat, struck out on a slider to end the third with the bases loaded for the Rockies.
I still can't get over the fact that in his career, he's 5 for 47 against the Mariners.
Yeah, it's just not. That's so unlike Nolan.
He's ahead of Paxton here, 2-0. Nolan, Ian Desmond, Chris Iannetta. Trevor Story not in the lineup today. He was in the original lineup. He got hit on the ankle yesterday on that pitch in his fourth at bat. And it was sore enough this morning that after trying to work it out, the Rockies felt they'd be better off to get him off the leg today. He had started all 88 games coming into this Saturday afternoon in Seattle. 2-1. And if he does not play at all today, his consecutive game streak, which is the third longest in baseball, will end at 139. Fouls off the 97 high in the zone.
Just looking at that list with Alcides Escobar, 420 consecutive games played. I mean, that's the benchmark now.
And you think back to your old teammate.
Yeah, Cal, and over 3,000. Miguel Tejada, he played in 1,151 consecutive games.
Must be something about the water in Baltimore. Tejada started in Oakland, but then was an Oriole.
Bordick played in a lot of games too once Mike Bordick came over there.
2-2. Strike three. 7 strikeouts for Paxton. He's gotten Charlie 3 times today. Just the second time this year. Blackman has struck out 3 times in a game. He has not gotten Desmond. Desmond a ground ball to first and a single through the left side. Desi scored the only run for Colorado. Came in the 4th inning after the base hit. He stole second. Cargo delivered him with a knock. Desi hitting just under 280 this year against lefties. 3rd in the league, National League that is, with 9 home runs against lefties. His fastball again, 1-2. Rockies have won 7 of 8, and I think overall this is the best they've played all year. And it always feels that way when you get great starting pitching, which the Rockies have got. But there's more offense now to couple it with the great starting pitching. Earlier in the year when they went through the rotation twice, got on a nice run.
Yeah.
They were winning a lot of one-run games, which is awesome. Win at the end of the day is all that matters. But the offense wasn't where it has been of late back in early May when the Rockies went on that notable run at the time.
Well, and that's why you've seen some of the games where you've scored a lot of offense. You've scored a lot of runs, I should say. But the pitching has kept the opposing team down. A pretty quick inning for James Paxton. Just 79 pitches through 6.
And we're 1-1 in the middle of the 6th. health. Well, Ichiro, you may recall, in early May, became a member of their front office, but his routine is exactly the same. He takes BP in the last group every day. He shags every day. He works out every day. In fact, on off days, he still comes down to the yard to hit. And you say, well, why is he doing that if he's no longer on the active roster? That's part of just who he is, and he plans on playing again. And you know when he's going to play again, because next year Seattle will open up in Tokyo.
He also hits in the cage during the games.
And he also pulled a Bobby Valentine in with
yes, he did.
With a fake mustache that he had sent from Japan, because everything he does is meticulous, and he couldn't find one that he felt was suitable to his standards. He had some friends back in his hometown in Japan shop for him and send over several items, including the mustache he wore in the dugout a little more than a week ago. True story.
Because I'm looking at you like, come on, that can't be true.
Nope, not making that one up. That's just how he's wired. Scott Oberg's now on the mound for the Rockies in the 6th inning. Guillermo Heredia at the plate. Here's the 1-1. 5 innings, a 1-run baseball from Kyle Freeland.
Through 98 pitches, 56 for strikes for Kyle. And the numbers on Scott Oberg, 21st ball game. He threw last night an inning, gave up a couple hits, was able to get a double play to not allow any runs through 10 pitches last night.
6 2/3 scoreless since Obi returned from the Rockies AAA affiliate, Albuquerque. 2-2, nasty slider, and Heredia is gone. 1 out in the 6th.
Good depth on that slider from Scott. It had some curveball depth to it. That was kind of a back up, straight down slider.
Ben Gamble is going to pinch hit here for John Andrioli.
Gamble last night was 0 for 3.
He takes strike 1. Scott Service had mentioned recently that it would be fun to have Ichiro partake in the home run derby at the All-Star game in Washington. I'm all for that. We had that discussion.
Yeah,
I think Billy and I did on the air about a week or so ago.
What's it going to hurt?
Well,
right?
Not just the Ichiro, but you know, change it up a little bit. They've done this in other sports where, you know, in hockey it's the world team against the U.S. or
well,
the
they
North
also
American
have 3
team.
teams, so they kind of a round robin
Yeah,
too.
they've done the skills challenges. There's things you need to freshen things up, 1 and 2. And I saw an idea that I read it somewhere, and I'd like to advance, is where you have the little guys, all the little guys with power in baseball take on the big guys.
Okay.
You know, have Judge and Stanton in one group, have Altuve, and
so like everybody over 6'5" on one side. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, and everybody under 5'10" on the other side. This is fouled off by Gamble. You know, Ozzie Albies. You could put a nice little group together of smaller guys who have a lot of pop. Put Ichiro in that group. Or maybe you do it by weight. All the guys under 175 pounds in one group, and all the 240 guys. He went. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts, back to back by Scott Oberg. That'll bring up the catcher Freitas. This game's kind of played out as we thought it would. Runs hard to come by with Kyle Freeland on the mound. And with James Paxton on the mound for the Mariners. If you missed it last night, just as we were going off the air, the Angels scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th in Anaheim to beat the Dodgers 3-2. The winning run scored on a throwing error by Yasiel Puig.
Well, and did you see the pitcher Kenley Jansen wasn't backing up home? He's just kind of hanging out by the mound.
Fly ball that dropped down the right field line that it dropped legitimately. Puig couldn't get there, and then Kenley was in no man's land, and had he been behind home plate, you assume if he makes a play, then who knows what happens after that, but the runner's not going to score.
No. But he got caught watching the whole play, and good for the Angels and the Rockies.
2-1, and this ball hit the left field. Carr is there, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Scott Oberg. So we play on. We go to the 7th inning. Rockies won, Mariners won.
The Seattle Mariners general manager, who actually got his start in the front office in Colorado after he was done pitching for the Rockies, and he remembers his time in Colorado quite fondly.
The day I retired, I got a gift from the organization, my own jersey signed by every member of the organization, from marketing, from ticketing, and the players on the roster at that time. And I'll never forget that. I felt like that was the most together place I've ever played. And once I left the Rockies, and the place I spent the most time working in the front office was the Arizona Diamondbacks. And if you may recall, in 2007, the Diamondbacks, we won the National League West, and we ran into a smoking hot Rockies team that just blew us out in the National League Champion Series that year. And we were that close to the World Series. And I can remember standing in the ballpark when the Rockies kind of put the final fork in us and went on to their first World Series, and I felt good for them.
He says Dan O'Dowd was really the guy who challenged him to come into the front office. He knew he had a lot of potential, and when I was asking DePoto the main things he learned from Colorado, you heard him say togetherness, and he also said stability. He said those two things are something that the Rockies have done from start to finish, and that's something he's implemented here in Seattle. Drew? Yeah,
that's a high compliment. It just speaks to how well run the Rockies organization is and has been.
JD's a good man.
I'll tell you what, JD's a terrific guy. He's exceptionally bright. One of those guys that you meet, whatever he decided to take his talents to once his baseball career ended, he was going to be successful at. He's not afraid to make a deal now.
No, he's not.
1 ball, 1 strike on Blake after the ground out by Cargo.
A lot of moves here in Seattle, but he had to clean some things up. They haven't made the playoffs in 16 years, so it's not like they had this dynasty working. Whereas like year after year, they're going to be up there. Well, they got the longest streak going of not making the playoffs.
No swing. Joe West at first gives a safe sign. So it's 2-2 on Valleca. A single and a fly ball to right for Pat. Three and 2. John Andreoli was pinch hit for by Ben Gamble, and Ben naturally stays in the ball game and left. Pitch number 86 coming. The Rockies, with the win yesterday, improved their road record to 27-21.
Last year at this time, they were just 1 game less, 26-22.
He held up, and a walk for Valleca. That's the first walk allowed today by Paxton. Gerardo Parra is coming up. Gerardo, a base hit to left, and then he hit a slicing line drive down the left field line that Andreola made a nice running catch on. So he's taken a couple of good swipes at Paxton left on left.
Well, the base hit was on a curveball. And that liner was a fastball.
And this ball bounced through the right side, base hit. Valleca's going to go first to third. So Gerardo Parra coming through. And with 1 out, a great opportunity for the Rockies to go in front again.
The bottom portion of the lineup today. I mean, you got Cargo with the RBI single hitting out of the 6th spot. Pat with a base hit and a walk. Gerardo 2 for 3. Noel 1 for 2. And as soon as this gets by the first baseman, Ryan Healy, you know, for Pat, even though the ball's behind him, you know where that outfielder's positioned. So you don't have to look at Stu, say, hey, can I come to third? No, you already know it in your mind that you're going to get there.
You know, I like this matchup right here with Cuevas as Mel Stottlemyre goes to the mound. Noel is a very studious young player. He's had 2 at-bats now against Paxton. You know, he did a ton of homework looking at Paxton on tape. He got a bunt down that turned into a bunt single his first time. He fouled out his next time up, but he's also good for this role because he's a tougher guy to double up.
Yeah.
In that he runs pretty well out of the right side of the box.
But he also has
he's got some lift in his swing.
Right, and he has a defined strike zone.
Yep.
You know, for a young player.
And I'll tell you, the way he bunted, not only today the way he bunted the ball, but we've seen him bunting on a couple of other occasions. That's got to be in play here also.
Yeah, another weapon.
Got decent speed at third in Valleca. And he puts yep.
Just almost on cue, Drew. And he was just trying to, that wasn't a squeeze or anything. He was just thinking, maybe if I could push this towards first base. Push it maybe past the first base, or at least in that area with the left-hander Paxton falling off the mound towards third base.
I like it that he has this in his offensive tool belt because he's a big, strong guy. Most guys this size, they don't really have that as part of their game. This ball clubbed deep left field, way back. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. How about a 3-run jack from Noel Cuevas?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Second career home run. Glad he fouled the bunt off.
I am too. So why drive in 1 run when you can drive in 3?
That was huge.
Again, it goes back to the bottom portion of this lineup. What they've done today. Oh, we got a cutter up. Now watch him clap. As soon as he hits this, he knows. He's clapping as he's going down the line. He knew he clipped it. Subaru Supermo right on the sweet spot of the bat. Such a wonderful feeling as a hitter.
4-1
Just like
Colorado
that.
with one swipe of the bat from Noel Cuevas.
And it came on a walk to start this rally. You know, Pat had fallen behind and he coaxed the walk. And then the first pitch, base hit from Gerardo. And then on the second pitch to Noel. 6 through 9 today, Drew. They're 6 for 11, a walk, a home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. The top 5 guys are 1 for 15 with 8 strikeouts. So, you know, sometimes that happens. That lineup can't be so top heavy all the time.
Against one of the best pitchers in the American League.
And just like that, too. Bing, bang, boom. It's 4-1.
I love the 3-run jack, huh? One and 2 on LeMahieu.
14th home run given up by James Paxton.
This ball is in the air to deep right center field, and Heredia has caught it again. And I'm chuckling because DJ has 4 8s in the book now. He has hit 4 fly balls to Heredia.
Last 2 a little bit better, more on the line than the first 2.
If I've ever written that in my book before, I don't recall. But 8 in the first, 8 in the third, 8 in the fifth, 8 in the seventh. And I don't want to write a K in again for Charlie. He has 3 of those today. That's really unusual for him. Just the second time again this year it's happened. He takes ball 1. Boy, the crowd is quiet. A crowd of more than 36,000, except for those wearing purple.
I think they're stunned.
I think you're right. Keep going back though to Cuevas. We spent a lot of time with him, and he's got an engaging personality, and he's got a focus, and he should be smiling ear to ear. He's got a focus and a determination that once he got here, he was going to be hard for Buddy and Jeff and the Rockies' brain trust to say, okay, we can just send him back down. He's earned his place against left-handed pitchers. And he's earned the trust to the manager where you can call on him to pinch hit. He's done a good job in the pinch.
And that's the big thing with the managers, the guy. Well, that's 4 strikeouts today for Charlie.
You may not see that again for a few years. Cuevas has given the Rockies a 3-run lead. Launching 1 to left with 2 aboard. All right, Jenny, thanks very much. Here it is 4-1 Colorado on the 3-run home run a few minutes ago from Noel Cuevas. And it's Adam Ottavino. Interestingly, he's Mr. 8th inning this year. He's on here in the 7th inning.
He was warming up when it was 1-1, and then the hit to put the Rockies ahead. It could be a case, so it's more than just an inning for Adam in this outing. It could be an inning and a third, inning 2/3, depending on how this goes. It might be 2.
2 balls and a strike on Romine. Then the top of the order, Segura and Haniger. May just simply be a matchup thing also. And that Buddy knows the 2 best hitters in that lineup are Segura, Haniger. You want to include Cruz also. Right-handed bats.
Well, then maybe you have then Jake McGee for Seager in the 8th at some point.
He may have just looked at it and said, you know what, I'm going to flip-flop it because of the right-handed bats. I'm going to give those to Ottavino. 2-2. And this is in the air to Parra in left. Look out. Oh, my goodness.
Ouch.
How about Gerardo? I mean, his eyes are wide open. He's running full tilt toward that wall.
And you have a feeling that it's going to be somewhere close to where that wall jets out. And then he catches the ribs as he's trying to slow down and then just hold on to the wall. Gets a pat on the back.
Then he went over and hand-delivered the baseball to one of the fans there. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off again by Romine. Playing today for D. Gordon, who has a hip issue.
Who is available, though.
See ya. Strike 3. Slider on the back door. 1 out.
All fans attending the Rockies Diamondbacks game on July 10th will receive a free LED bulb upon exit, courtesy of XL Energy. If it lights up blue, red, or green, you could win a prize.
Gene Segura has done his normal stuff today. He's got 2 hits, including a home run. And strike 1 from Ottavino. Scott Oberg, a terrific 6th inning, 1-2-3, couple of strikeouts. He's now the pitcher of record for the Rockies. On the plus side, Colorado up 4-1. This is the 40th game all time between the Rockies and Seattle. Played Seattle more than any other American League club. 0-2.
Without a natural rival. And I think for Seattle, same thing. They really don't have, because they're so far away from everybody else. Even Oakland, still 2.5 hour away on a plane.
Well, if I had a vote, I'd say I have no problem with the Rockies making Seattle their natural rivals.
I like it.
Put it in air quotes, because you get to come up here once a year. Not all that bad. 2-2. Swung on and missed, and Segura's gone. Had a talk with Adam the other day. So I said to him, I liked what he said in a post-game get-together with some members of the media. He was asked, so he gave up a home run to Matt Kemp, and he gave up a couple other soft hits, and immediately questions, how's your stuff,
what's wrong,
that kind of thing, right? And Adam said, listen, he hit a good pitch, a fastball. He's a really good hitter. There's a base hit for Haniger. He said, I thought I made good pitches, and today it didn't work out. He said, I'm in a great place, and I'm moving on.
And it wasn't.
And again, just real quick, I asked him about that, and he said, I don't want any negative thoughts creeping into my mind at all. And true. We watch the game.
Yeah.
We watch it. Sometimes, you know, those guys practice too.
That's right. And sometimes you're unlucky. Sometimes you make a pitch and the guy hits it out. Kemp, he has done that a number of times in his career. But good for Adam to say, I don't want negative thoughts, because immediately players will have those creep into their mind. Doesn't matter what position it is, but you sit there, you kind of have a little self-doubt. And as soon as that happens, then it's kind of snowballs on you.
Maybe for the casual fan, it may be remarkable to think that self-doubt or the confidence can be affected for these guys who are the best in the world at what they do. But that's the nature of this sport. It happens.
Happens to the greatest of players.
To the elite. You can't really pitch much better than Adam Ottavino's pitch this year. 0-1, and that just missed. So it's 1-1 on Nelson Cruz. 2 outs. Haniger at first. Haniger's been on 4 times today. 2 hits, 2 walks in his return to the lineup. Out the last couple of days. One against the Angels, one against the Rockies with a bruised knee. And there's a strike with the fastball. 1-2. Look out. That's in time. 2-2.
Out of the hand, you were yelling, look out, because it just slipped out of the hand of Adam.
Two outs, 2-2. Iannetta sets up away. That's usually a swing and a miss type of pitch. Cruz saw it the whole way, so it's 3-2. Desmond will slide behind Haniger at first. And now he's going to move back in.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want him to get too big a jump, so he's going to hold him.
Well, with the right-handed hitter, smart.
3-2 on Cruz, swung on and missed. Foul tip held by Iannetta. End of inning, will go to the 8th. 3 strikeout inning from Adam Ottavino. 4-1 Colorado on the Cuevas 3-run homer. Cargo broke up a scoreless game with a shot to center field to bring around Ian Desmond. Ian had singled and stolen second, and then Kyle Freeland gave up a solo home run in the 5th to tie it to Gene Segura, the only run that he would allow. And then the biggest swing of the bat today, Noel Cuevas with 2 aboard, a line shot 3-run home run last inning against James Paxton. And the Rockies enjoying a 4-1 lead in the top of the 8th. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Taylor McGregor field side. Chasen Bradford is now in the ball game for Seattle. Paxton goes 7 innings, allows 4 runs on 7 hits. He walked just 1. He struck out 9. For Bradford, his 30th appearance. He's had a very solid year out of that bullpen for Scott Service.
Yeah, kind of called up early this year too from Tacoma. Joined the ball club back on April 9th. Was claimed off waivers from the Mets back in January. Fastball, changeup, slider.
How about this, Huey? James Paxton, I mentioned, struck out 9. He got Blackman 4 times, just the second time in Charlie's career he struck out 4 times in a game, the first time since 2015. He got Nolan twice, so 6 of the 9 against 2 of the best hitters in baseball.
And of those 6 strikeouts, 5 were on sliders, 1 on a fastball.
But as you have pointed out appropriately, the bottom of this order today has really done a terrific job. Nolan works underneath this right side. It's Healy making the catch. That'll bring up Desi. Who Wants Tacos? Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies produce 7 runs in a game. 7-1 they won last night. Up 4-1 here. Desmond 1 for 3. On the inside corner, called to strike. This could be a tough play. And a really good play by Bradford because he didn't have an angle. When he picks that baseball up,
he's right in line.
He's right in line with
Ian.
Yep, with the base runner. 2 outs. Chris Iannetta coming up. And let's see what Taylor's up to.
Not a whole lot, but I do want to remind you guys of some roster moves the Rockies made, which included Tom Murphy going on the paternity list. He's back in Colorado, and we have some breaking news. Everyone from AT&T Sportsnet wants to say congratulations to Tom and his wife on the birth of their healthy baby son, Thomas William Jace Murphy. So congratulations to them. True.
Oh, that's awesome. That is terrific. Congratulations to the Murphys. Chris Iannetta takes a strike. Now, Jordan Patterson's been up before. Jordan recently produced an interesting double. Not like the double in the gap.
Oh, okay.
He got his 100th career home run down in Albuquerque and his 100th career hit by pitch with Albuquerque.
So that's the interesting double.
How many guys have done that? Iannetta fouls it off, 1 and 2.
Sam Howard's going to make the start tonight for the Isotopes.
Hey, by the way, earlier I said that Charlie had only one other 4 strikeout game. Accurate statement. I said it was 2015. Inaccurate statement. It was 2013. Long time ago. That means Wade LeBlanc may pay tomorrow,
yes,
right?
I was thinking the same thing. Wade LeBlanc 4-0 for the Mariners.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Iannetta, 2 outs in the 8th. Not surprisingly for a catcher, has always had a really good command offensively of the strike zone. Not a high average hitter, but throughout his career he's had a fairly decent on-base percentage because of that eye. Doesn't catch up here. Bradford strikes him out. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies leading 4-1 at Safeco Field in Seattle. Performance, a matchup of two terrific left-handers today. Kyle Freeland goes 5 innings, just allowed 1 run, struck out 4, walked 4. James Paxton gave up 4 runs on 7 hits, the 3-run blow off the bat of Noel Cuevas. The difference in this ball game, he struck out 9, walked 1, both again through 98 pitches. And it's still Adam Ottavino, so looks like he's going to be asked to get 6 outs today because the leadoff man is Seager, a lefty.
I like it.
I like it. I think it's a statement from Buddy Black. Going to change it gears a little bit in an American League city, saying we want this game. After that 3-run home run against Paxton, we're going to have our best go get 6 outs in front of Wade Davis. That's the plan. Kyle Seager has been on 3 times today, 2 walks and a base hit, and he's behind 0-2.
Well, for Otto, he's had numerous days off now. So go ahead and throw your 2 today. If you have to take tomorrow off, that's fine. You got Monday off as a day off, so you're ready to go Tuesday. Win today's game and worry about tomorrow.
The good managers operate that way. Here's the 0-2. 1-2. 3 on the right side. Seager lines his ball to center field, and he is on for the 4th time today.
Such a good hitter.
He is a really good hitter. That'll bring up Ryan Healy.
Both hits, same direction. They just stayed center. Line drives to center field. Just look at his average. It's a little surprising that he was hitting just .233 coming into the game. That's deceiving.
Yeah, I would agree with you. He's a much better hitter than that. Ryan Healy's 0 for 3. And a strike on the corner to the 26-year-old.
On the on-deck circle now for the Mariners is Denard Span. Hit for Heredia. Juan Nicasio up in the Mariners bullpen.
Popped up. Desi may have a play, and he will. I love first baseman gloves, huh?
Nice and long. And he was at the junction, too, of where the wall is and where there's an opening in the steps going down into the dugout. So you're not going to get any help. Nobody's going to say you got room, you don't have room, anything like that. So now he could have caught the ball if that fence wasn't there with 2 feet in the territory and then fallen into the dugout, but you'd have to come out of the dugout to then make any sort of throw. That didn't happen, but just kind of telling you what the rules are, if you're wondering.
Can't throw submerged in the dugout.
No, against the rules.
Denard Span pinch hitting for Heredia. It's a big out to get Healy. Span started the year in Tampa, was hitting .238 prior to the trade. He's well above 300 in a Mariners uniform. Here's a strike. I think at first glance you'd think, oh, he moved way up in the standings. He did move up because Seattle's got the 4th best record in baseball. But quietly, Tampa has been overshadowed by the Yankees and Red Sox. Tampa has played pretty good baseball. They just slipped under 500 yesterday. They're 43 and 44.
We're beating the Mets today in the bottom of the 8th. Yesterday, Batista, the walk-off grand slam for the Mets.
The Mets have actually won a couple in a row, but they have done a lot of losing since the opening couple of weeks of the season when they went 11-1. Jake McGee is now up for the 2nd time. Wade Davis has got none. 2-1 on Denard Span. And the slider's in there for a strike. 2-2.
Span hit the home run last night. So last 2+ years, 3 years, he's had 31 home runs in just 346 games. In his first 7 years, he only had 37 home runs total during that time in 950 games.
One out. Seager at first. Conservative lead there. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Denard Span. And this is rolled to second. DJ, good flip on to first. Double play, inning over. Well done. DJ LeMahieu and Pat Valleca up the middle. And the Rockies will go to the 9th with a 4-1 lead here in Seattle. All right, Jenny, thank you. Denard Span stays in the ball game as he hit for Guillermo Heredia, so he's in center field. And an old friend is on the mound, Juan Nicasio, former Rocky. He'll be making his 36th appearance, his first year in a Seattle uniform. And look at the strikeout to walk ratio. The batting average is high, 299, but he has struck out 41 and walked only 3.
He also has a 17 holds. I mean, it's not in play today, but that's tied for second in the American League. And I think, you know, every Rockies fan still has a little special place in their heart for Juan Nicasio after the injury and how scary that was. And for Keith Duggar and the job that whole training staff did to make sure that there was nothing more serious after breaking the neck. But I know for Keith Duggar, that was one of those moments he'll never forget as well.
That was a very scary moment. That was in 2011. It happened on August 5th that year against Washington. And he had surgery to repair the C1 vertebrae in his neck. And there's Keith looking on. And it's not only because of, you know, that scary moment as Cargo fires at the fastball. It's also the guy that Juan Nicasio is.
Yes.
Just a terrific young man. I know from afar the Rockies have been happy for his success. Today aside, they want to get after him.
Always.
Rockies up 4-1. Cargo, Valleca, Parra in the 9th. Cargo got the Rockies on the board with a sharp single to center in the 4th inning. 1 for 3 today. Last night he went 2 for 5. Single and an RBI double. And Cargo is hoping that pitch would swing the other way. Marty Foster says it's a strike, so it's a 1-2 count.
I forgot to say that Marty Foster, the Thomas Jefferson grad Marty Foster.
And Kyle Freeland, Thomas Jefferson grad.
The Spartans.
This ball's clubbed to deep center field. Span going back, and he's not going to be able to catch it. And then it kicks away. Cargo to second, and he'll stop there. Second double of the series for Carlos Gonzalez. And the Rockies have a leadoff man at second. 2 for 4 afternoon for Cargo.
Such a loud sound for Cargo off the bat. Then a little bit of slicing away from Denard in center field. For Cargo, that's his 13th double this year.
So here's Pat Valleca. He's had a nice day offensively. A single in the 3rd. First hit the Rockies got against Paxton. Hit a fly ball, to right, and then a walk and a run scored in the 7th. And that's back up the middle, a base hit. Cargo had to wait to see it through. He'll go to 3rd. That bottom of the lineup just keeps clicking today.
They have been the story today.
And you have 2 guys in the bottom of the lineup that are not everyday guys. You know, Valleca certainly, you know, Pat spent a good deal of time in Albuquerque this year working on the swing. And Noel Cuevas plays against left-handers primarily.
Well, and the guy that's coming to the plate right now, and Gerardo Parra, 2 for 3, wasn't in the original lineup today.
And he knew that last night with a veteran guy. I'm sure Buddy told him, hey, listen, tomorrow I'm giving you the first part of the day off. We're facing Paxton. And that gets kind of, you know, your mind as you arrive at the ballpark and you go, okay, I'm going to get my work done, but I'm not playing. And then all of a sudden a tap on the shoulder about 90 minutes before first pitch.
You know, in a quick turnaround with the day game, it's not like, well, you've got the whole night and then you run through a little batting practice, you get the legs, the arms loose. That didn't happen today because the Rockies didn't hit on the field.
2 hits today for Parra. And now he's trying to drive home his close friend Carlos Gonzalez, make it 5-1. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Top of the 9th with Juan Nicasio out on the mound for Seattle.
Trying to improve the numbers of the 6 through 9 guys right now, 8 for 14.
This ball lifted to fairly deep left field. Gamble will gather it in, and here comes Cargill. The throw will go towards second, and Parr with a terrific at bat, and the Rockies lead by 4 here in the ninth, 5-1. Every element of good baseball has been on display for about 10 days straight, and it all begins with starting pitching. But the Rockies, I think the last week, have manufactured more runs, had more productive outs than we've seen in quite some time.
Well, and that's why you have these runs where you win 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9. You get the starting pitching. First and foremost, that's where it starts, on the hill. But then the offensive doing their thing. You know, the only blemish they had today was the bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't score. But that's it, because then you get the other guys to pick you up.
Well, Noel Cuevas, I think we'll always remember this afternoon in a 1-1 game against an elite guy like James Paxton. He tried to bunt his first time, which was a good play, trying to get that go-ahead run in with the runners at first and third. Bunt goes foul. Next pitch, he hit a mile to left. Good swing. 0-2. Here's the home run. Cuevas hit in the 7th. That was loud. Paxton knew it right away, so did Noel.
Just the reaction. Good for him.
He'll get the baseball landed in the Rockies bullpen. Nicasio, remember when he was a starter with the Rockies, when he was moved to the pen, he's always been a heavy fastball guy.
This looks like it's maybe a mile or two shorter than what it was.
Maybe 95 to 97 coming out of the pen. Bunch of 93s today.
Well, we were talking about that incident where he was hit by the line drive. Remember who hit that? Ian Desmond. I did not. It's funny, when I was reading that it was Washington, I could not recall who it was, but now that you say that, to get confirmation on that. But I was just thinking in the back of my mind, I think that's who did it, but it was so long ago.
That gentleman is going to go home, and he's not going to be lamenting that the Mariners lost the baseball game. He's going to be lamenting the foul ball that was about to land in his lap. He had the glove ready, and instead clank, and it's in the lower level.
There was a clank city down the line last night too.
This is popped up to shallow center, and it's going to drop. You can tell that could be in a Bermuda Triangle, and it was. Span coming, Segura going out, Gamble coming, and it drops for a single for Cuevas, his 3rd hit of the ball game.
3 for 4 on the day, and you never say anything about a hit. It could be a bloop, it doesn't matter. Never say you're sorry for a hit, and that drops in and no man's land.
Huey's got to be one of the. It's a fun play for a middle infielder, but it's got to be one of the scarier plays.
It's scary because you're focused. You can't hear that guy. You know he's coming, and he's not saying anything because he doesn't know if he can get it.
And you're not saying anything because you don't know if you can get it.
Right, and you can't look away to see where he is. You're focused on running as that ball's coming over your shoulder, so you're peeking out there, and Denard's running in. He's thinking, well, do I dive? Do I lay out? I can't do that because I know the infielder's there.
1 strike on LeMahieu. 0 for 4. He's hit 4 balls to center field today. So the Rockies are up 5-1 in the 9th inning with the game James Paxton started. In the first 3 in their lineup, LeMahieu, Blackman, Arenado, 0 for 12.
Go figure.
And I'll take one step further. Desi, who's batting cleanup, is 1 for 4 and a run scored. Chris Ionetta is batting 5th today. He's 0 for 4. So the first 5 guys in your lineup are 1 for 20. If I tell you that, you're thinking, okay, probably a tough day at the office for the Rockies.
And they have all the strikeouts too.
You're right. 9 for Paxton, 1 last inning for Bradford. 10 strikeouts of the 20 at bats, 1 hit. And yet the Rockies are up 5-1 looking for more. Funny game, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And more importantly, to be the kind of team the Rockies think they can be, you do have to have contributions from your entire 25-man roster. You can't. It can't every night just be LeMahieu and Blackman and Nolan.
Well, and that's what we were talking about too much early in the season. If those 3 guys didn't do anything, then it was, well, you got to wait till they come around again.
Did feel that way the first month or so of the season.
Yeah, for at least a short time.
And LeMahieu's gone. Second out in the 9th inning. That'll bring up Charlie.
Well, the club level picnic area is an upscale pregame picnic option for only $90 per person. You receive a buffet, club level ticket, and an area to mingle before the ball game. Visit Rockies.com/suites for more information.
Well, Charlie's never been a guy that walks a lot, and he's an aggressive guy. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, I don't care who you are. If you've punched out 4 times in a game, you don't want to get to 2 strikes.
No, you don't. I mean, you're hoping that you can just make solid contact, but at minimum, just get the ball in play any way you can.
Well, he got it in play, but it's a pop up to Segura. He makes the catch in the inning. The Rockies got a leadoff double by Cargo, and eventually a sac fly from Gerardo Parra. 5-1 Colorado go to the bottom of the 9th. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By T-Mobile, show your military appreciation and use the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. And T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. And by Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Ran by there early this morning, and as many times I've been to Seattle, I've never been to the top of the Space Needle. How about you?
Yeah, I have. We walked by it the other day, didn't go up in it, didn't have time.
You know, there are a lot of these large structures that I just haven't taken the time. I've never been to the top of, in St. Louis, the Arch.
Now that's like being in a washing machine.
That's what, going to the top of the little cabin.
We did it a few years ago. Remember, we did it in Toronto.
Yeah, we did do that one.
Yeah.
So here we go. Wade Davis looking for 3 outs. The Rockies up 5-1 in the 9th. Ben Gamble, David Freitas, Andrew Romine, 7, 8, 9 scheduled for the Mariners. And Wade with a first pitch strike. Gamble's 0 for 1, a strikeout. He pinch hit and stayed in the game for John Andrioli in the 6th inning. This Mariner team 30-16 at home. And Gamble turns it, rips it into the seats, foul, 1-2. D. Gordon is in the on-deck circle. He's going to hit for Freitas.
There's only 3 other teams that have won 30 games or more at home. Only one in the National League.
Ground ball to first. Desi's got it. He'll sprint to the bag. 1 out. Let's take a look at who will be towing the rubber initially tomorrow. Antonio Senzatella threw a beautiful game in his return to the rotation. And Wade LeBlanc will get the baseball for the 13th time this year for Seattle. And here's Senza with a brand new slider that he showed off against San Francisco. 7 shutout innings.
Well, and he had been pitching so well down in Albuquerque, AAA. And he comes up, and you knew he wasn't going to be intimidated by pitching at Coors Field as a starter, but you know, you just don't know how he's going to react, and flawlessly is how he acted. I mean, 7 innings.
Couldn't pitch much better than he did.
We faced the Mariners last year in 1 start.
Oh, 1 to D. Gordon, and that's in the Subaru strike zone, but called a ball by Marty Foster, so it's 1-1. Chris Herman is on deck. He's going to pinch hit for Romine.
Scotty's going to go through his whole bench.
Everybody gets to play. Gordon, the son of Flash Gordon, Tom Gordon. He's a terrific right-hander, starter, and a reliever.
Yeah, fastball and then a drop off the table curveball. Yeah, Flash wasn't very tall, but he threw from the same arm axis, so you would give up on that on the curveball because you thought it was going to be a high fastball. And so you said, "Oh, yeah, I'm not swinging," and then boom, it just drop in there.
Yeah, he had an elite curveball. Here's the 1-2. They say Gordon's fit in here in Seattle exceptionally well. Not a surprise. He's been liked wherever he goes. He's a hard-working guy. Played center field initially, and then when Cano got suspended, he moved to second. 3-2.
As you surmised last night, I think there's going to be a lot of talk of moving Cano over to first base and let D stay at second. We've seen some rangy plays from D. We saw a couple last night, and then some highlights from the night before.
That's what Gordon's so good at doing, which is not a surprise. He's a throwback leadoff type guy for Scott Service. I mean, he would fit well in on the Cardinals teams with Whitey Herzog that could fly. He's not trying to hit the ball, you know, out front. He's just trying to slap and go. And This is fly ball to left. Parra will secure it. 2 outs in the 9th inning. So here comes Chris Herman. So I got a great Chris Herman story for you.
Okay.
Chris Herman's going to get called up by the Mariners, and they wanted to work him out here. He was in Tacoma, and there was nobody available on the staff because the team was on the road. So they informed Jerry DiPoto of that, and Jerry said, no problem, I'll throw to him. So Jerry throws BP to him, and afterwards Chris Herman says, man, you're really good. Did you play in college?
No way.
And he said, yeah, played at VCU. He goes, well, that'd be a while ago. Yeah, he goes, late 80s. He goes, man, you stayed in really good shape. The trainer told him, this is up the middle. Pat, can he throw him out? You bet. Out at first base. Ball game over. And the Rockies have taken the first 2 here in Seattle, 5-1 after a 7-1 victory yesterday.
What
the Rockies stay on a roll. That's a great way to finish it.
Yeah, it is, and a great way for Pat to finish his little dive, get up, strong throw. Rockies are shaking hands as they win this ball game 5-1. And the throw on the Subaru Supermo. What a game.
What a complete game for the Rockies. They've now won 8 of 9. They're 3 games above 500 at 46-43. The Mariners hadn't lost a home series since early May against the Angels. Scott Oberg, the winner. Just the 3rd loss for James Paxton. Oberg improves to 2-0. Terrific ball game for the Rockies. A 5-1 final as we go to Denver. Here's Jenny and Corey. Enjoy, everybody.
Hey,